Has it really been 2 years already since I got this mighty IKEA Kallax display unit? Apparently so, and one of the things that I was frequently asked is, will this thing trap dust inside it? Because if we look at the top of one of the cubes here, you can see there is a little bit of a gap which would allow dust to enter theoretically. So we're going to dive in and do a bit of a finger test and see if there has been significant dust buildup on the shelves that have not been dusted this entire time. So I don't know if you can really see whether there's any dust here. So here we go, sending the finger in, and you can see there's a little bit of a mark there. So there is a small amount of dust, definitely, but it's not some vast buildup of dust inside these cubes, and not really anything on there. So I would say that the idea that this thing could be a dust trap is definitely an exaggeration. One thing you can see that I have not added to this thing is lighting. This light is all coming from my phone right now, but we are going to go through each cube anyway and have a little update on what's going on with all the armies while we're here. Why not? So all the Space Marines have been compressed onto half a cube now because I don't really play 40k much anymore, so sucks to be them. Down here we've got some dwarves. Now this cube is a little bit empty, but it is going to be full of new dwarves very soon. The next cube along, these are all my dwarves that have had a bit of a fresh coat of paint applied to them, some touch-ups to get them ready for Warhammer the Old World, and aren't they a beautiful sight? They've been getting plenty of action. Very rare that they're actually all inside the cabinet. Usually they're just in the carry case because I'm using them so frequently at the moment. The cube of big stuff that doesn't fit in a shelf cube is filling up rapidly, and I may have to add another one of these at some point because I'm not going to be able to fit 2 more models in here. Or maybe I should just stop buying such vast miniatures. The Night Stalkers have spilled over into 2 cubes now after filling this one with their hideous nightmarish features. They've now also taken up residence in this one. And dual-use army. Some of the giants turn out on the table for Kings of War and Age of Sigmar. We've got a bit of an empty cube at this end. This is going to be housing my Bretonnians. At the moment I've only done the peasant archers, but there are a lot of them currently on top of the unit there, waiting to be assembled. I'm going to do a rapid tour of 3 cubes now because the Stormcast Eternals have been expanding. We've got all the heroes in here, apart from the dragon that doesn't fit in one of these. We've got all the cavalry and fast units in this one. We've got your basic troops down here. And then as we slide on over to this cube, we've got all the elite infantry and the artillery at the back. Down here we've got the Caradron Overlords who are sharing this cube with the endless spells. There's going to be more of those to come as well, so they're going to take up more space. And the other Stormcast cube is being shared with half of the Relics collection, the Orknar and the Britannons. I'm pretty sure my bolt action cube is exactly the same as when you last saw it, because I haven't played that lately. I would like to at some point. We've got the rest of my relics stuff in here, and it's sharing with Dreadball. As you can see, I've added an extra little shelf inside the cube there, so I can fit more miniatures inside. I may have to do more of this as time goes on, because this thing is filling up rapidly. So Dreadball on there at the moment. More Dead Zone up there, and a little bit of overspill from my Undead army as well. Up into this one, we've got part of my Abyssal Dwarf Kings of War army with the rest of the Dead Zone in there. And along one is the rest of the Abyssal Dwarves, so they've expanded to 1.5 cubes now. I'm having a lot of fun using them at the moment. As we move down, we see the bulk of the Undead army in here, and across into the Undead Halflings, who haven't really had anything added lately. Same story for the Goblins. These might be in an identical layout to the last video. I can't remember if I've actually used the Goblins at all in the last 2 years, but I'm sure I will get them out again at some point. And then finally, this cube at the bottom is miscellaneous miniatures that are in danger of being moved to a drawer, like Drop Zone Commander, which you'll notice isn't featured in any of the cubes. That's because I've been making space, because all of these cubes are going to be totally full at some point in the near future, so Drop Zone Commander was the one that had to make way. On top of the unit we've got some terrain, we have got some unbuilt miniature kits inside that orange container there, and Bretonnian army, still working on that. One parting piece of advice I'll give you is that when you're loading and unloading miniatures into the unit, don't leave the doors open for any extended period of time, because there was one occasion that I inadvertently stepped into a door that had been left ajar, and thankfully I wasn't moving very fast, so there was no damage to me or the unit, but it did highlight the potential hazard. So I would recommend, whenever you're moving things in and out, take what you want, and then before sitting down to do anything else, immediately close the door. So there you have it, 2-year update. It's even more full, despite certain things being removed from the cabinet entirely, and the dust issue is not really an issue at all. So I can heartily recommend the IKEA Kallax unit with the glass inserts, assuming they're still available.